Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of the Responsible Humans podcast, where we talk with people who are into learning, growing, who can teach other valuable things, and are contributing something to the society. And today, my guest is Katie Pajooman. That's how you pronounce it? Okay.
Yes.
Katie is a nutritionist here in Kitchener, and we will talk to her today about nutrition and some other interesting topics related to nutrition. So, Katie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. My name is Katie Pajooman. As you mentioned, I'm certified nutritional practitioner and I am practicing in Kitchener, Ontario.
Great. So let's start with why you chose to be a nutritionist at the first place.
At the first place, I was chemist for 20 years.
Hmm?
So I had a master's degree in analytical chemistry and I was working back home 10 years and here in Canada almost 14 years. And it was kind of challenging for me because always I have a passion about the nutrition, but I had to work with the chemical and all solution and all toxin environment, but it was my job here. And when we came to Canada, I was so lucky to find a job in my field that I was studied before. So um, after 10 years of working as a chemist in Canada, I was thinking that I should do something. I should go back to study something. And and for me, because I'm as a mom, I love to cook. I love to give the kids the best option for nutrition.
Hmm?
So I choose to be nutritionist. So I was working full time and I went to the college at the night as a evening program to learn for 3 years actually to finish the nutrition
Where, where,
course.
where was this program and which one?
It was Institute of Holistic Nutrition in Mississauga. They have many branches, but I choose the Mississauga one. It is usually 1 year program if you study full time, but part time is 2 years and a half. But I finished it in 3 years. So, but it was
That's cool.
for me going back to school at while I was 40 years old, it was so challenging, but overall, I love it. I enjoy every moment that I learned there. And now I'm doing what I had a passion for.
That's amazing, following your passion. So did you had classmates around your own age, or was everybody much younger?
No, no, actually, the lady that she's sitting beside me, she was 75 years old. And she was,
Wow,
yes, and we're still friends. Such a nice lady. And yeah, we had different ages, but because it was the evening program, most of the people are working in the morning as a full-time job and coming as a part-time school, so mostly that's, I can say 35 to 45 years old.
I see. Age is just a number. That proves it. So when you finish your graduation, how did you set up your how did you start your business, if you will?
When I registered for the holistic nutrition, I start to give to work with the friends and family member, of course. And because I'm as a chemist and I was working as a research in tobacco and cigarette for many years in Kitchener-Waterloo. So I love to research and I want to, search to find the solutions. So um, I try to help people, but when I graduated, I start finally to do my business. They start with the COVID, and one part it was good because I can do mostly everything online. instead of one-on-one, to meet people. And after that, I'm working from home. Actually, I changed my basement to my office, so my client can come to visit me here, but 80% is online. And yeah, I start to put an ad in Facebook, in Instagram. I make a page for myself, and just people just show up. And after that, word of the month, they going, friends
That's the
coming,
best.
husband coming. Yeah, they go to send the kids. It's just like a chain. I'm so happy that they trust me, and they are happy with my service, actually.
That's great to know. I share the same passion of nutrition with you, so I can totally relate that. It's good to help people. And I think that's one of the most aspect of our lives. So
Exactly.
holistic nutritionist, they cover usually, it's not just the food part, right? When you say holistic, I believe it covers everything related to stress management, mind, body, soul, everything, right?
Exactly. We see client as a whole aspect of his life. For example, everything that may help him or her to improve her, the optimum health. So it's not just food or supplement. Um, no, I'm usually I don't go to have too much client, because I have to be involved to many aspects of their life to then can help them. So it's not just nutrition. We go with their lifestyle, what is trigger them, and how we can help them. And we usually go to the root cause, not just close that door and um, feel that is going to be better. No, we go with the root cause and find the root cause and help in that point.
You meet a client and then you create like a case study kind of thing where you see an assessment of where they are at, what are their triggers, what are their problems, and then you create a plan. And how often are the follow-ups if the person is following or not following? How
It
often do you do that?
depends actually for which purposes they come to see me. Usually, they always come back to me and they want to follow up. They usually, my protocol is for 6 weeks, and after that we have to have a follow up together, even by phone, or changing some supplement, adding some new thing or another intake. Some of my client, I have to do the another intake with them after 2 or 3 months, because it's going to change and they want to fix the other issue too. But I go with the first problem that they have, and I go to find the root cause from there, and we go to the others.
Okay, let's focus on one of the important parts here, which would be the diet, if I'm correct, right? So
Yes.
when I say diet, what comes to your mind? How do you think about diets as a
I never
nutritionist?
said diet. I always said lifestyle. I always say to my client, if you want to do whatever you do now, after this meal plan, you're going to be worse than now. You know what I mean?
It's
So
exact
it's
dieting.
not, yeah, it's not just, okay, I will follow this protocol, so after 3 months I will do whatever. No, it should be something in your lifestyle, something that you choose to have as part of your life. And it's very important, and it's even very important that don't think that you are dieting is not limitation for that. You have to take it, you have to accept it as a new lifestyle.
How do you go about that? Because if people love certain kind of food and they don't want to give it up, do you tell them to reduce the frequency of when they're eating it, or you tell them to find alternatives? For example, if someone loves dessert, you try to make a healthy dessert, or how do you go about that?
Yes, we try to change, the recipe to make it healthier for sure, and some changes, adding more food that they are not eating to their meal plan, which is very important, because we live here. We have to get the nutrition from the food which is available in the season. bringing, I know that culture is good, the food in our culture is very nice, but maybe we cannot make the exact thing that we may make it back home. So we have to find a solution with the stuff which is in the season here, the whole food that we are available in this country. So this is very important.
Right. Whole foods are always a focus. And what about busy people? If most people are usually busy, and the way I deal with my situation usually is still to eat healthy, like go for instead of fresh vegetables, sometimes go for frozen vegetables or like canned chickpeas, things like that. Do you think those kind of things still fall in a healthy eating category?
Frozen vegetable, if they're frozen in the right time and with the correct way, is doesn't have any problem. Even that the berries, if you pick the berries and you put it in the fridge, you can lose more antioxidant. But if you freeze it at the same time, you will have more antioxidant and more nutrition on that. So I don't see any problem with the frozen one, but they can. I usually go with the organic. But for timing, I agree with you. I usually go with the recipes, which is easier and for people to make. So which is very important because I want them to make their food. I don't want to buy the frozen prepare meal.
Right, yeah. Pre-made meals are pretty usually bad with all the preservatives and stuff.
Yes.
I agree on that. One of the recent things I learned in my nutrition program recently that I'm pursuing is regarding the taste buds. So that was very interesting to me because I haven't heard it before. Uh, so it said that it takes around 14 or maybe 8 or 14 days to change our taste buds. So if you really like sugary foods and you stop for 8 to 10 days, and even if you eat a piece of fruit, it will feel very, very much sugary for you. Do you know if it works with people?
Actually, I can say to you that it happened for me too. Is a kind of reset in metabolism, which is helping us. We don't have a food craving anymore, which is happened for me too. And I think it's happening. It's happening. We just need that reset, 14 to 16 days to adjust to the new way. And we have to see that which food that people are craving, and we can do the reset based on that. But when we boost our metabolism, is helping us to have to actually digest whatever we eating, which is very important. And food craving is going to be much more less after that.
So what would be the best way to start boosting your metabolism? Like what would some action be?
I usually start with the cleanse. So I do with the cleanse, and I usually go for 2 or 3 days, just vegetable and not source of protein. And it helps that the colon get cleansed and gets ready to absorb more food. Because, and after that 14 days, for sure we have to cut a little bit
Sugar and
in sugar
junk
and
food.
and carbohydrate, but it's helping a lot to reset the metabolism, and food craving is going to be much more less. And sometimes mineral is going to helping, like a magnesium, potassium. This is helping food craving too.
And on vegetable juice, oh, this is separate than the cleanse, like a
Yes.
day-to-day life thing. Minerals help with the food
Yes,
cravings.
yes. I
Okay,
usually
good
give
to know
them,
that.
the meal plan for 16 days to reset their metabolism.
I see. So another aspect of diets that I personally follow a lot and suggest my friends and family is getting rid of vegetable oils, because that is something, and one of the reasons being that vegetable oils are mostly processed, and second being the balance between omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, which is omega-6 is way more higher in vegetable oils than any other food. Do you share the
Exactly.
same thought?
Exactly, exactly. But I usually go with olive oil, flaxseed oil, and
Coconut oil.
for cooking, I go to coconut oil, ghee, or sometimes if they want to deep fry it, I go with the avocado oil.
Same, do the same.
Yeah.
So do you think that cutting out vegetable oils does help a lot with, let's say, getting getting to a healthier body?
Yes, because I mean, the ratio of omega is very important because our body need a good fat to get rid of the fat which is deposited on our body. So we need to provide a good and I mean the good the ratio of the fat to the body to get rid of what is in our organ, I mean. So have this good ratio is going to help, as you mentioned, they are high in omega-6 and there are processed and most of them they have a free radical which we don't want to have in our body.
And those free radicals basically contribute to all the inflammation and weight gain.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. And more acidic in the body. So the more acidic, more inflammation. And I can see most of the problem is inflammation in the body. You know, I don't know if you notice if people start the meal plan, let's say weight loss, they're going to lose a lot weight in the first week. It's not you lose water, it's you losing inflammation in the body, the inflammation that causes the water retention in the body.
so the weight still comes from the water, but the reason is that inflammation is getting reduced.
Inflammation that they have in the body, yes.
I see. Yeah, inflammation I've heard is the root cause of all diseases. That
And
that's
more
that's another thing.
the
Yeah.
age going up, yes, when we get older, more inflammation in our body. So
Yeah, that's another tip I follow in my lifestyle also whenever I eat or create my own meal plan, that is this particular meal item or food, is it going to increase inflammation or is it anti-inflammatory? So that balance I think is very important in deciding what you're going to eat. We have a network issue here.
okay.
Okay, we are back. Sorry, I lost you. I think network issue.
It's okay. You
And
can hear
we,
me?
yes, I can. Okay, we're almost end
Okay.
of time. I think we have covered a lot. One thing I wanted to cover with you is also quickly about cold. So you mentioned before that you like cold water, right? Like swimming. And so why would you say that cold weather, cold showers, staying in cold is important for the body?
Cold water, or if you see that some people jumping on the cold or frozen water, is help to boost your metabolism. It help you to hormonize your hormone, and also the fat which is deposited in our body. It helping that fat is to be burned too.
I see. So it increases metabolism, balance the hormones.
Hormonal, yes.
Okay. I think we are good there, and we're having a lot of network issues. So what three tips would you give to our listeners that they can implement today to up their nutrition game?
I want to suggest everybody, if they are in 35 or years old, start to planning to eat healthier because when we get older, it's not easy to get rid of some problem that we're going to have in future, but we can plan from now to be on the track for that time. And I always ask my client, water, exercise, it should be lifestyle. We have to drink enough water per day, which is 33 milliliters per kilo of the body, and at least 2 times exercise per week, which is kind of routine for maintain our body.
Awesome. I think that was very helpful. And where people can find you? Are you
And
on
they
social
can,
media?
yes, I'm in Instagram, Facebook, Katie Pajooman Wellness. Uh, they can find me there. And also they can email me as katie.pajooman at gmail.com. Pajooman is Pajooman.
Okay.
And they can text me or they can send me message in social media.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Katie, for joining us today. And I hope our listeners find some value in the talk.